Hello YouTubers, this is Cessnaace, and this is the video that I started to do the other day when the doorbell rang and I found two packages on the stoop. So I elected to do an unpacking video instead and save this video for a future time, which is now. Now, as I mentioned in that video, I recently acquired LaserDisc player number 5 in my collection. This isn't it. This player belongs to friends of ours. It is a DVL 909. It's a combination LaserDisc player, CD player, and DVD player, manufactured by Pioneer. Now, they had pulled out their box set for Tron, the original Tron. This was just before the movie Tron Legacy hit theaters. They went to watch it on this player, and the player was dead. So they contacted me and wanted to know if I knew anyone or any business that would take a look at their broken LaserDisc player and fix it. And immediately what sprang to mind was, or who sprang to mind, was Watcher 3223. Now, for those of you who will remember, at the time I only had two LaserDisc players, a high-end industrial model, the Pioneer LDV 8000, and a mid-range consumer model, Pioneer CLD D504. I went to watch a movie in the bedroom. That's the Pioneer LDV 8000. Tray opened, put the disc in, the tray closed, I hit play, and it went click, and then nothing. Hit play again, then click, and that was all she wrote. I hit eject, tray opened, I took the disc out, closed the tray, took the disc into the living room and inserted it into the CLD D504. Tray opened, no problem. Put the disc in. Tray closed, no problem. Hit play. It spun up, no problem. It played side 1, no problem. The CLD D504 is a dual-sided player, unlike the LDV 8000. And it was getting late, so I figured, well, I'll do the transition from side 1 to side 2. And I'll go get me some lunch, and I'll come back and I'll watch the rest of the movie. Well, it transitioned just fine from side 1 to side 2. But it made an awful noise when it did it. I thought, well, I'll mess with that when I get home. I came back home. I turned it on, figuring, well, I'll either start at the beginning of side 2 or this particular player, this D504 has something called last memory recall, where when you turn the player off, it remembers where it stopped. And then when you turn it back on, you have last memory and it goes right to where you left off. And I was only about 10 seconds in to side 2 when I turned it off. So I was figuring I'd just go ahead and watch from the beginning of side 2. Except I never got the chance, because when I turned it on, it made an awful noise and then threw an error message at me. Well, that player had done that a few times in the past, the recent past, prior to that failure. Not the awful noise part, but it would play side 1 and then it went to transition to side 2. It would throw an error message. But I found that if I unplugged it and then plugged it back in, it would reset and it would play just fine. Well, it finally caught up with me and it got to where it would not play just fine. So I did the video where I was quite ticked off at the time because I only had two LaserDisc players and they were both dead and both died on the same day. Watcher 3223 saw the video and offered to take a look at the players, which he did. He doesn't live here locally, but he lives within a few hours of us. So we took him both players and he fixed them both. In fact, he did a video, if you want interested in looking at the innards of those two players. He's got a video up on his channel where he showed the problems that the players were having and what he did to fix them. Shortly after that, I bought a third LaserDisc player from him. It's an RCA. I don't remember the number, but it's the one sitting right here next to my computer, the one that I use for the LaserDisc clip videos that I've done. It has continued to work like a champ, and both of the Pioneers that he fixed have continued to work like a champ. Shortly after that, I was at the flea market And my favorite seller there yesterday and today had a number of LaserDisc players for sale. They were $30 each. And I ran the model numbers past Watcher, and he suggested I avoid the combination LaserDisc player and carousel CD changer. It was a Pioneer, but he said it was prone to mechanical failure, so I skipped it. But the Pioneer CLD D503 was a good player, and so I should think about that, and I did, and I bought it, and it has continued to work great. Then when my friends had their problem with this player, I went ahead and loaned them my CLD D503, which they still have. Now, before I show the one that I just picked up from Watcher, I'll show the DVL 909. This puppy is heavy. It was manufactured January 1998. I don't know if I can get in close enough for you to see the DVD logo, but it has one. It has a separate tray built into the main tray for the LaserDisc player. The little tray comes out for CDs and DVDs. And the CLD D504 and CLD D503 are the same way, except with LaserDisc and a small tray for CDs. This thing has a huge number of outputs on the back. Kind of like the industrial player. It has gobs of outputs on it for computer control and all that kind of stuff. Okay. You'll notice to the far left, two video outputs. Those are composite. And then right beneath those, the two black inputs, or outputs I should say, are two S video outs. And then to the left of the yellow composite outs are component outs. So there are 5 video outputs on this. Then all the way at the top you'll notice 2 PCM audio outs, and next to it AC3 Dolby Digital out, and then beneath the component video outs there are 2 pairs of composite audio outs. So a lot of choices on how you hook this up, and you could hook it up to multiple displays at the same time. I have, for example, the CLD D504 has multiple video outs and multiple audio outs, and I have one set of audio outs going to the television set, which is a stereo set, but I have one pair going there, and then I have the other output hooked up to my receiver to listen to the stereo. Okay, managed to get that back down without dropping it. This player that I just picked up from Watcher 3223 is considerably lighter. It is another CLD D503, which is similar to the 504, except the 504 has built-in karaoke and the 503 doesn't. And the 504 uses a different turning mechanism than the 503. I don't recall which Watcher told me was which, but one uses a turning mechanism known as epsilon, and the other one uses gamma. Now, fewer outs on it. It has 2 video composite outs, an S video out, and then 2 sets of composite stereo outs for the audio. Now, I don't see it anywhere on here because I don't think it has it. Outputs for AC3 Dolby Digital. The 504 does have an output for AC3 Dolby Digital, so that's another difference. And as I mentioned, there is a smaller tray built into the main tray, and that's when you're just going to play a CD. You notice on the front there is a built-in 1/4-inch headphone jack output with a potentiometer next to it where you can adjust the volume. The D504, which has built-in karaoke, has a 1/4-inch mic input. And just looking at all the buttons here. D-level control. Anyway, I haven't hooked this up yet, but I'm assuming it's going to work because Watcher 3223 does good work. And he went over this player with a fine-tooth comb and made sure everything was hunky dory with. Okay, now that I have this video done, I can worry about the other videos that I need to do. Until next time, stay awesome.